So, there's this theory floating around that the Bitcoin Core project might have been infiltrated by the US government. It sounds like something out of a spy movie, but I keep seeing people bring it up online. What's actually fueling these suspicions?
The biggest spark comes from how important Bitcoin has become and how much governments want to control it. Some folks point to the fact that many Bitcoin Core contributors are based in the US or have ties to US companies, so they wonder if there's some hidden influence creeping in.
I get why that would make people uneasy, especially with all the stories about government surveillance in tech. But how realistic is it to think that a decentralized, open-source project like Bitcoin Core could be secretly taken over?
That's such an important angle. Since Bitcoin Core is open source, all code changes are public and anyone can review them. Still, people worry about subtle influence, like if a few key developers shape the direction in ways most people don't notice. But there's a big difference between having influence and staging an actual infiltration.
I see what you mean. Influence is kind of inevitable when you have people writing most of the code, but full-blown takeover? That sounds like a stretch. Has there ever been any hard evidence like leaked documents or whistleblowers suggesting US agencies have meddled directly?
Honestly, so far there's no real proof, just speculation and circumstantial stuff. People might point to a developer's previous employer or some government grant, but nothing concrete. And whenever rumors pop up, the community tends to dig in pretty hard, checking facts and calling out anything suspicious.
That actually reminds me of how open-source projects handle power dynamics. What kind of safeguards does Bitcoin Core have to keep any single country, or even one group, from taking over?
One of the coolest things is that anyone can review or propose changes, so there's a layer of transparency built in. Even if a few developers have more say, the broader community can spot anything sketchy. Plus, if trust ever breaks down, the code can be forked and taken in a new direction. That's happened before with other projects.
Forking is such a wild safety valve. It's like if the community senses something shady, they can just branch off and start fresh. Have there been any moments where the community actually came close to doing that because of trust issues?
Yeah, for sure. The whole Bitcoin Cash split back in 2017 happened partly because people disagreed with Bitcoin Core's direction and decision-making. It wasn't about government infiltration, but it showed that the community won't just sit back if they think the project's at risk.
Funny you say that, because these kinds of conspiracy theories pop up in crypto all the time. Why do you think so many people are quick to believe big government is pulling the strings behind the scenes?
Part of it's just the culture crypto attracts folks who are skeptical of authority. Mix that with the real history of government surveillance and some anonymous developers, and it's basically fuel for wild theories. Sometimes, I think it's easier for people to blame shadowy figures than to accept that most decisions are just made in the open, for technical reasons.
That definitely rings true. Plus, Bitcoin is such a high-stakes project that any sign of outside influence gets magnified. But at the end of the day, it seems like the best defense is just staying vigilant and keeping everything transparent.
Exactly. The more people watch and participate, the harder it is for anyone, whether it's a government or a corporation, to steer things secretly. Open code, active discussion, and a healthy dose of skepticism go a long way in keeping Bitcoin Core honest.